Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the greatest live show of all time. That is right, everybody. Now, I will be explaining why I made the title and thumbnail of this. But first, I always need to clarify, especially for those of you watching the VOD, I always make sure to include timestamps in the description below. So if you want to skip around for whatever wacky reason, you are more than welcome to do so. But this is a live show / podcast / what even is this? I genuinely have no idea. So yeah, with that being said, I always start out just by talking about some random stuff, I guess, because I literally can, and so that's what I do. I can, so I do. It's genius if you really think about it. Hi Femyoz, you look great. Why, thank you, Alexander. But yeah, I always start out just by talking about whatever, I guess. Yeah, just while I wait for viewers to go in. You know, I could do what everybody else does and have one of those disgusting, worthless stream starting soon screens. But that wouldn't be fun. That wouldn't be content. And you know, what about the people that are watching this or listening to it as a podcast after the fact? They shouldn't have to watch I mean, I guess they could skip around, but still, I'm sorry. Stream starting soon screens just piss me off. I'm sorry. That's just like a fact. So I don't do it. Is it good for my channel in terms of viewership on live streams? Maybe not, because then everybody joins in the middle of me talking about stuff, so they're confused. However, that's bound to happen to some extent. And also, jeez, I can't even speak properly. Not to mention the fact that, how do I put this? Oh my God, my brain is spacing out. Jesus Christ. That's what the whole point of what this beginning intro section is, or whatever. Yeah, I think I'm gonna separate intro and getting started at this point. Or no, I think yeah, I don't know. I always just timestamps are so useful. You know, I have gotten really fast at adding timestamps after live streams. I have to say, you know, I think that that's like an accomplishment, right? Like I sort of have like a rough idea of what I want the different timestamps to be. I already have it like vaguely categorized in my head during the live stream as I change topics and after the fact. And yeah, I think that, you know, I think there's something truly beautiful about that, if I must say so myself. And yeah, oh boy. Now, I do know for a fact that oh boy, the title and thumbnail of this are absolutely gonna get me canceled. I'm not gonna lie. If I'm gonna be totally honest, now we're laughing about death. You better believe we are. I think death is one of the funniest things ever. You know? I think it's comedy gold, frankly. You know, name one thing funnier than death. You can't. I'll wait. You can try, but you can't do it. Smash like if you agree. Was he a bad person or something? Yeah, pretty much, and we'll get into that. But yeah, in the meantime, this is just like the first section of the stream where I just sort of wait for some concurrents to show up. Doesn't even have to be that many. And then, yeah, I guess we'll get into the meat of the topic. After maybe like the 5-minute mark-ish. Can you sum it up for me? Because I gotta go. Yeah, long story short, Twomad is known for being a big stinky poopy head, but then he died. And then everybody on Twitter was like, RIP bozo. Anyways, bruh, YouTube deleting my comments. Wait, actually? Is that so? It shouldn't be. Because I have it open for live chat. Yeah, I have it set as live chat. Rest in peace, Twomad. People tried to reach out and help, but it was too little and too late. True. I guess that's a little bit too bad. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Yeah, no, I have seen jokes like that. They are very funny. and I have engaged in that myself on Twitter. But yeah, I noticed that we have 8 concurrent viewers as of right now, but only one like, one singular like. I think we can increase that. I think we can get it to 8 likes. If I'm gonna be totally honest, you know, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's definitely not implausible, to say the very least. You know, I would be lying if I said otherwise, because, you know, yeah. Anyways, also, why is it at this? Okay, sorry. The speed is weird. Warning: YouTube doesn't like when you celebrate the dead. You will get striked if you say the wrong thing. I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine. I don't think, because I'm not really saying anything, right? Like, I'm just reporting as like on like what other people are saying, right? So if the title and thumbnail are what other people said, this isn't even funny, bro. Chat, is this a bad idea? Am I gonna get canceled for this? I hope I don't. But yeah. Anyways, I hope I don't get canceled for this. 'Cause like, there's a point that I do want to make. 'Cause I don't know who he was. Well, he may or may not have allegedly done some interesting things in terms of how he interacts with people sexually. I'm not going to say anything, you know. We will get into what is / isn't confirmed. So, yeah, anyways. Oh, I agree with the title. I just can't say what I agree with since YouTube will automatically delete it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, I don't think that saying somebody died and then lol in a title is like grounds for YouTube to take something down. But yeah, anyways, we're not gonna cancel you. Like your vids, sis. Oh, I like your vids, sis. Sorry, I'm illiterate today. Why? Thank you. Yeah, it's not funny. Well, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. All right. We'll get into that. If you're just tuning in, you better smash like. You know, there are more concurrent viewers than likes. What's going on? I know that there are at least some of you watching this that haven't liked. I see you through the computer screen. Okay? Yeah, you right there. But yeah, I'm gonna drink some water, and then I guess we'll get started. Oh boy. Very thirsty today. Make sure to drink lots of H2O. I just liked. You are so based, sparkly boy. Everyone should follow in your footsteps. You know, the same way that, you know, Christians supposedly follow in the footsteps of Jesus. I think that everybody watching the stream should follow in the footsteps of Sparkly Boy 2009 2, because he smashed like. Why the fuck is your voice so soothing? It's so ASMR. Maybe I should do an ASMR channel. Anyways, let's see. Oh boy. Without further ado, let's get into the meat of the topic. We're 9 minutes in. Oh god, how do I even start? There are going to be 2 types of people that click on this. There's going to be one type of person that clicks on it because they see the title and the thumbnail, and they get very angry because, grr, I am angry. How dare you joke about the dead? I can't believe you would do such a thing. So that's one type of person. The other type of person that's going to get mad at me is the type of person that thinks that the allegations, without looking at any of the evidence, are proof in of themselves, and that we should just believe everything that everybody says. And that if somebody says that Twomad was a PDF file, then it obviously must be true. So we will be looking into that. Yeah, it's quite the shit show. I'm also considering doing 2 streams today. So maybe streaming about this for an hour, because I also want to cover the Vosh stuff some more. Because, oh my god, that is a literal gold mine for drama content creators, right? And as somebody that streams quite a bit of drama, oh my god, the algorithm loves content that talks about Vosh. It loves it. It can't get enough of it. It just wants more and more. It's insane. No more Vosh stuff, please. I'm sorry, Subsandwich, the YouTube algorithm begs to differ. But yeah, in this stream, at least, we won't be doing more Vosh stuff. Instead, we're going to be talking about Twomad stuff, just for a little bit of a change of pace, just so that, you know, there's not just one topic I get stuck talking about until the day I die. You know, you got to branch out a little bit. With that being said, I explicitly went out of my way to make my title and thumbnail invoke a little bit of anger. I think that's kind of the point. Because it's, yeah, why wouldn't I, okay? Vosh x Xander Hall fanfiction when? Look, I'm already working on the Vosh x Nicholas Diorio fanfic. Okay, sorry, we're getting sidetracked. But yeah, long story short, why I chose the thumbnail, well, and title to be this way, because it gets views, and because there's 2 people that are gonna watch this that are gonna get angry. There's gonna be the people that click on it that are like, yeah, fuck Twomad, I'm so glad that he died. And they're gonna be sorely disappointed as well, as soon as I don't immediately condemn Twomad as a grapist and a PDF file. So I guess where we'll get started is the fact that he died in the first place, because that's kind of important to the story about Twomad dying is the part where he actually dies. So without further ado, I guess we'll get into that. Oh my god. What's the first thing that we should look at? I guess Twomad dead at 23 from Speed News TV, just to get a bit of a glimpse as to what happened, I guess. Because, you know, why the hell not? So, all right, let me just click on this, load this up, and then, yeah. So I guess without further ado, we'll get into the meat of the topic, like the most important part of the story about Twomad dying, which, of course, is the part where he dies. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get started.
YouTuber Twomad dead at 23. Investigated as possible OD.
Okay, this video fucking sucks, I'm sorry. Why the text-to-speech? Okay, it's only a minute and a half, whatever.
A popular YouTuber who goes by Twomad Online has died. TMZ has
R.I.P. Bozo.
learned. Law enforcement sources tell us the internet personality, who has millions of followers across his various YT channels and social pages.
By the way, while it is true that he had millions of followers, he constantly got ratioed on Twitter. Like, his tweets and replies would get anywhere from, like, 0 to 3 likes. It was truly incredible, genuinely impressive numbers, I have to say.
Was found unresponsive Tuesday night at his Los Angeles area home. This after somebody called in to ask for a welfare check.
I love how in this video, reporting on Twomad's death, included in the slideshow is a picture of Twomad soy facing. It couldn't get any better than this.
We're told Twomad hadn't been heard from in several days by concerned parties, and he even missed some appointments.
I mean, the fact that it's concerning that nobody heard of him in a few days on the internet just goes to show how terminally online he was.
As a result, the LADP was sent to check on him. And that's when they found his body, although it's unclear how long he'd been in that state. Our sources say there was drug
Too bad that Logan Paul wasn't there to vlog it. That would have been a crazy video. I went to Twomad's house and found him dead. That would be crazy. That would be an insane vlog.
Fernalia found on the scene, and at this point, we're told this is being investigated as a possible overdose. No foul play is suspected in the death. Twomad had caused concern among his fanbase in recent weeks, including some strange, one-off tweets he was sending last week.
I mean, I feel like it's been a lot longer than a few weeks that he's been saying concerning shit. Like, he was clearly extremely mentally ill. Like, for a long period of time, okay? Very long period of time. It's not just a few weeks, let's be real.
Not to mention a bunch of photos of firearms. The guy was an interesting character. In addition to skits, gaming commentary, and live streams, he was just very into internet culture and had a massive fanbase.
Oh, he was into internet culture, alright. I couldn't agree more.
Like we said, millions of followers. But his videos would also get a significant number of views. One meme.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, wow, incredible video. Incredible video. Now, I want to go over, what do I go over? Oh, right. The tweet from Jameskii. So, after Twomad died, Jameskii put out this tweet. Here's what it says. I can finally say it. Twomad was a grapist and a PDF file. Over the past few years, he tried to murder me multiple times for helping the police and detectives in multiple states to investigate a lot of horrible things he's done. He wanted to take out multiple innocent lives by getting behind a wheel and going head-on on a freeway while being high on illegal drugs. He didn't succeed once as he overdosed before killing anybody. So he tried it again. Despite him trying to murder me and multiple innocent lives, I've been trying to help law enforcement to make sure he's safe, doesn't get hurt, and doesn't harm anybody. Please remember that he's a grapist and a PDF file. He continued to prey on the vulnerable, even after the police got involved, including a 13-year-old in mental hospital. The tragedy doesn't excuse any of his actions. I will address a lot of stuff when I fully collect my thoughts. Past few months have been a total mess, and a reason why I ended up in ER. Please give me time. So, this tweet is interesting, and oh boy, this has sparked a lot of controversy. On one hand, you have people that are taking this at face value, just believing everything that's being said. On the other hand, you have people trying to shit on this person for saying this without evidence. I hate to be the enlightened centrist, folks, but guys, chat, I think that might be the correct approach this time, okay? I don't think that you should immediately condemn somebody who comes out with allegations with no evidence. You should question it, right? There's a big distinction there, right? If you were to condemn somebody, you would have to prove that the allegations were false, right? If you're going to condemn Twomad as a PDF file, you have to prove it, right? Now, I will say, based on this tweet, it doesn't direct you to any evidence. It's just Jameskii saying words. And unfortunately, Jameskii saying words is not going to cut it. I don't know about you, chat, but this is not enough. I don't like Twomad. I think he's a fucking freak. Or he was a fucking freak. Because I guess he's not alive anymore. But when he was alive, I think a perfect example of this was... let me see if I can pull it up. Twomad Brianna J. Because, oh boy. So, I guess... I guess the reason why I find it very hard to get angry at anybody that's being like, yeah, El Bozo, R.I.P., nothing of value was lost after Twomad died, is because of this, right? And this is a tweet. Don't forget Twomad made fun of Brianna J's death, a trans girl that got ambushed and fatally stabbed by people who were bullying her continuously. She didn't deserve any of this shit, but now you people get to call others out on what's good and what's not? fuck off. And attached are screenshots of Twomad with a picture of Brianna J, who was a child. She was 15, I believe. And here he is saying, I have girlfriend, bro, look. So she was 16, actually. My bad. And here's another one. Hey, look. My GF. She's 8. Trans just got stabbed to death by bullies. No. So for anyone who's like morally grandstanding, how dare you make fun of somebody's death? The person that you're supposedly defending did the same fucking shit when somebody else died. So I don't want to hear any of this bullshit, moral grandstandy bullshit, okay? No virtue signaling, no morally grandstanding, all right? If you have a problem with people making fun of the deaths of others under normal circumstances, that's fine, right? But Twomad himself, before he died, when he was alive, he did exactly the same fucking shit and made fun of an innocent trans girl who was basically hate crimed to death. So I think it's perfectly fair that as soon as Twomad dies, people say LRIP Bozo, considering the type of person he was, and considering the fact that there is a bit of irony to it. But yeah, that's, I guess, the main component that I think is worthwhile. So somebody in chat just called Still Frosty says, wasn't a girl, was a boy with mental problems. Just a fact. Based on what standard are they a boy? I'd like to know. And if you say biological sex, the next question I have for you is first of all, how many biological sexes, or I guess in your case, genders, are there? I'm guessing your answer is 2, which is objectively wrong because it's a scientific fact that sex is a bimodal distribution. This isn't even something that's been, but it's not even being debated. It's literally just a scientific fact. So it's impossible to believe that there are only 2 genders while also believing that there are only 2 sexes if you think sex and gender are the same thing, unless you're also a science denier. There's only 2 genders? Okay, what gender are intersex people? Like if somebody has an equal distribution of male sex characteristics and female sex characteristics, which is entirely possible, how do you categorize them? No, things can be gay or straight. No. Gay and straight refers to a sexuality. That's not the same thing as gender. Those people are an anomaly. Okay, so if they're an anomaly and not the standard, how do you categorize them? Because if there are only 2 categories that they would be able to fit into, which one is it? Or is it the case that it's actually not solely 2 categories, in which case there aren't only 2 possible outputs? This isn't a spectrum issue. It is. There is a spectrum of male and female sex characteristics, right? So it's going to be the case that it's a bimodal distribution, okay? So let me look up an image of a bimodal distribution on a graph, okay? So what would be the best one? That would be the most similar to gender. I'm trying to find. Okay. Oh, here's one for specifically for the whatchamacallit, for biological sex. So here's the bimodal distribution, right? So you have these 2 humps, right? So this is like where like the majority of people are, is like the 2 humps, males and females, right? And in between, you have intersex, right? So somebody that's at point 0, right? would have an equal, like a distribution of sex characteristics that is equal between male and female, right? So they'd have an equal number / amount of characteristics, right? So it is logically impossible, unless you want to deny science, which is represented by this graph. It is logically impossible for there to only be two genders and for sex and gender to be the same thing. Now, the reason I always bring this up is not because I think that gender is contingent upon it. It's because I know for a damn fact that it sort of destroys a lot of preconceived notions. A lot of people's already existing worldviews begin to crumble. And because of that, they're going to be more open to hearing alternative explanations. Now, the alternative explanation is that A, sex and gender are not the same thing, and B, the reason you believe that there are two genders is because that is what you socially recognize. It is the way you socially categorize people, rather than a biological categorization. Now, with that being said, you would then have to make an argument as to why it is morally obligatory for somebody to fit into a social categorization based on what social category they were assigned at birth, in which case that's an impossible argument to make. No, it's nature. So there are two counter arguments to this. One of them is whether or not something is natural is not what dictates whether or not it's good. It is not natural that we use toilets to take shits or that we have air conditioning. All of that is unnatural. But it's still good. It is preferable that we have those things. That being said, it is very natural that somebody has gender dysphoria, which would be the usually with trans people, not always, but usually, is the primary motivating factor that causes them to transition. It is something that happens naturally. It occurs in humans by default. It is not something that is caused by intervention, at least not as far as we're aware. It seems to be the case that the contrary is true, and that things like hormone washing that occurs within the womb, which nobody really has any control over, would be the main determining factor. In fact, I would argue it's not a coincidence that me and my older bro are both trans. I would wager that it has something to do with the hormone washing that occurs within the womb. With that being said, I believe, and I don't have a source on hand, so you're going to have to take my word for it. So if you don't want to believe me, that's fine. But I believe that it's the case that there have actually been instances in which identical twins who are raised exactly the same way have turned out in a way where one of them turns out to be trans and the other doesn't. This is because of how, again, hormone washing works, right? So it's not that there's like a gay or a trans gene that causes it. It's hormone washing that ultimately determines a lot of these things in terms of the brain structure and chemistry, right? And these are ultimately, I guess, things that function as predispositions for wanting to become trans or being gay. You were both brainwashed by the media then? No, absolutely not. In fact, there was a very long period of time where I was in opposition to the being trans as a concept. But then I looked at studies and did some actual research and saw, okay, well, what are the scientists saying? Not what does Ben Shapiro from the Daily Wire say, but what do actual scientists say? And the overwhelming consensus was not what I expected. In fact, I went into it thinking that it would confirm my biases, that it would confirm my preconceived notions, that being trans is simply a mental illness and that there's no science behind it that would support it. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to go research this now so that I can prove my point. But once I researched it, I was surprised as to what I found. I found that actually, this isn't what I thought it would be. This is the opposite of what I was expecting. And rather than denying the obvious and unambiguous empirical evidence in front of my eyes, I did the intellectually honest thing and changed my mind. With that being said, I think that rather than, because I think that a big problem is that a lot of people that are more liberal or left-leaning will immediately read a chat message like that, right? And label you as something, label you as transphobic, and then ban you. I could have done that, right? But I didn't do that. There's a reason for that. Because I don't think that that changes minds. Now, you don't have to change your mind overnight, but these are definitely things for you to think about. Do you know about Dr. Money and his twin study? Was this the one where he forced one of the kids to transition? If that's the case, this would actually be an argument in favor of trans issues, and let me explain. The whole point of being transgender is that you choose whether or not you transition. You don't necessarily choose whether or not you're trans, but you can choose to transition. And it's going to be the case that not everybody is trans. So if you force a kid to transition, because it's going to be the case that most kids are cisgender and not transgender, that it's going to have negative outcomes because they would be forced to be in the wrong body. Similarly, if you are transgender, you are going to experience the same negative effects as the kid that was forced to transition by being forced to not transition. Because this goes both ways. If you are trans, you suffer the consequences of being forced to not be trans. If you're not trans, but say, for the sake of a study, you're forced to become trans, then you suffer those consequences, right? Ultimately, it's going to be the main determining factor is not, in fact, if anything, I believe that it was the John Money, The Dr. Money study. Also, thank you, Lord Pasta. For the $2, I will donate 5 more if you let a certain mod ban the trolls. You're debating people who just want to fuck with you, bruh. Move on. I mean, you are giving me a financial incentive, Lord Pasta. You have moderator, right? So, I hereby declare that because you're giving me a financial incentive, you could go haywire if you want. Ban whoever you want. Because you're giving me a financial incentive. Anyways, we already got derailed. But I think it's an important discussion to have. Even if the people that were starting the discussion started in bad faith. Now, interestingly, I saw a video. It's about 4 minutes long, 4.5 minutes to be precise, called Twomad Died and People Are Celebrating. So I haven't watched this, but I'd like to know what this is all about.
So earlier today, it was announced that popular YouTuber Twomad had died. If you don't know who he is, well, you've probably seen his K-pop videos that he did during lockdown, or he's well known for the Good Night Girl meme.
No, I actually know him for celebrating Brianna Jay's death and making fun of it, basically. I guess I don't know if I'd say celebrating. Also, thank you, Marcy, for the $5. Nah, it was me. Thanks, though. Of course. Thank you for the $5. Very much appreciated. But yeah, anyways, as I was saying, Twomad is known, by me primarily. The main thing I know him for, is getting ratioed by random nobodies on Twitter, and making fun of Brianna J after she died, and basically also saying that Brianna J is his girlfriend when Brianna J was 15 or 16, sorry.
Oh, hey, I'm just about to go to bed. I know we couldn't Skype tonight, but
Yeah, I'm not gonna definitively say he's a PDF file, but this video clip certainly doesn't help. I'm not gonna lie. It definitely doesn't help. Why R.I.P. Bozo in the thumbnail? Because Twomad, you know, was a person who personally loved to make fun of the dead. So I decided I would return the favor now that he's dead. So yeah.
that's all right. Good night, girl. I'll see you tomorrow.
It was announced that he died of a possible overdose, and his death has been confirmed. And there's a coroner's report that matches his name, his age, and everything like that. So it is confirmed that he has died. Well,
This
Twitter
is
being
true.
the cesspool it is, Twitter is celebrating his death, and personally,
Based. Alright, based. W Twitter.
I've always found it weird to celebrate the death of people, even if you dislike the person a lot.
I would agree with you if Twomad didn't do the same fucking shit. If it wasn't the case that Twomad celebrated Brianna J's death, I don't know, maybe celebrated wouldn't be the right word, but he clearly made fun of it. He clearly didn't give a shit, right? So I think it is perfectly fair for people on Twitter to literally just do the same thing and return the favor.
A lot. It's just weird to just like celebrate someone's died, unless it's
It's just weird to celebrate somebody's death.
done like some actual fucked up deplorable shit. And apparently
He did do some fucked up deplorable shit though.
Jameskii put out his tweet claiming
No, not based on the Jameskii tweet. We don't have evidence to confirm or refute this. This is all just alleged. This is just somebody saying words, as far as we know.
Twomad tried to murder him multiple times, and not only that, he also alleged that Twomad is a rapist and also a
Yeah,
pedophile.
we don't have evidence of this though. I don't.
15-year-old
Okay.
girl who was in a mental hospital. You know, these are huge accusations to be thrown around with no proof. Like, he literally did not show any
Yeah, but that's not the reason I'm fine with making fun of Twomad dying.
proof, no hard evidence that he raped anyone or talked to any underage girls. I mean,
No, but there is hard proof of him clearly making fun of Brianna J after she got hate crimed to death when she was 16. So there is proof of that because it was literally on his Twitter.
the most I've seen from Twomad is some weird, like really weird tweets. But you know, that can be people's humor. Not my.
You mean like the really weird tweets where he made fun of the innocent trans girl who got hate crimed and died? Yeah, those tweets. Yeah, but of course you don't want to include those because that might destroy your entire argument.
How fucked up and weird the humor is. Like, it's just a tweet at the end of the day. It's not real. It might.
So why lower to his level? Because why the fuck would I morally grandstand over Twomad dying and people making fun of it? I think it's fucking pathetic that people are morally grandstanding. Oh no, people are making fun of his death. No, how dare you do that? That's not okay. That is off limits. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Might have not actually done the shit he said in his tweets. Like, it could just be a joke and not him being serious. Also, the part about attempted murder is not actual.
Well, it could just be a joke when people make fun of him. In fact, it is a joke, right? That's the whole point. But again, you seem to have this weird double standard where, oh, you know, it's okay when Twomad does it. When Twomad does it, it's just jokes. It was just jokes. But as soon as people make jokes that are, you know, equally as fucked up or less fucked up, you throw a fucking fit.
Proof of that. It's just an anecdotal experience. In the past, other YouTubers have thrown around claims like this, like when Keemstar falsely accused someone as a paedophile and then fucked up his whole career. So, you know,
Okay, but that's not why I'm making fun of him though.
this isn't the first time if it does come out to be fake. Personally, I've always found it weird when people wait until someone is dead or until something has happened to someone and then they start dropping accusations shit literally just as the guy's died and he cannot defend himself. And now that he's dead, he can't defend himself. But
Yeah, again, I don't know if the allegations hold any merit. I don't have any evidence to make conclusions.
when the person's alive, they just don't say anything. When he could defend himself, they just let.
To be fair though, you would specifically need him to die while he has Overwatch open in order to make jokes about that. So You can't really do that while he's alive. You can do it while he's dead, though.
Let it slide. And I saw some people say that he couldn't talk about this because it was an ongoing case working with authorities. But if that was the case, then why is this guy able to talk about it now? Just because he's dead doesn't...
Because then the investigation doesn't really matter as much. Because if he's dead, then he can't cause any more harm. So then there's no point in continuing the investigation. Like what?
Doesn't mean the case is automatically dropped by the police. The whole investigation would still be going on.
Sure, but is Jameskii as an individual going to care about that? No. So he would, at that point, it's like, okay, yeah, sure, they might still be investigating it, but it's whatever. It's not important anymore. I don't care about the investigation anymore because he's fucking dead.
So if he couldn't talk about it then he shouldn't be able to talk about it now. And to be honest, this whole thing just seems fishy to me because I know Twomad and Jameskii have had problems in the past. So, you know, it could be a revenge thing, but I'm not 100% sure. It could all be true, but until proof is shown, it's just kicking a dead man while he's down, literally. Like, I morally find it wrong to just throw accusations of someone just as soon as they're dead and not even bring it up when they could defend themselves. Although,
I mean, to be fair, I would argue that, let's say that the accusations are false, right? If it's the case that the accusations are false, I would actually argue it's preferable to do it after the person is dead because they're dead. The accusations can't negatively affect them because they're not there to consciously experience it. Now, it would still be wrong because it would negatively affect the people around them, right? But they're dead, right? So it can't negatively affect them directly. It can't ruin his career because he's dead, right? So I don't know how I feel about it's even worse because he's dead. It's like, okay. Well, if the accusations are false, no, that doesn't make it worse. And if the accusations are true, then it doesn't fucking matter if he's dead because they're true, right? So that there would be no defense there. So either way, whether or not he's dead is kind of almost irrelevant to that specific argument.
The stuff Twomad has said on the internet is weird and deplorable. No one deserves death unless they've actually done some fucked up shit. And I know.
Okay. I don't know if I'd say that Twomad deserves death, but I think I'm definitely not sad about it either, though. That's the thing. It's like, yeah, he died. You know, would I personally, do I personally care, though? Nah, not really. I don't think much of value was lost, though, if I'm going to be totally honest. Like, he made fun of Brianna J's death when she was an innocent trans girl who got hate crimed. So to morally grandstand when he did, not only did he do the same thing, but what he did was arguably 5 trillion times worse, because at least the people that are making fun of Twomad have a justification. Even if the people that are making fun of them in a lot of instances are basing it off of false evidence, the problem there wouldn't be that they're making fun of him, right? Because in their worldview, the evidence is true. The problem is that they presuppose that the evidence is true no matter what to begin with, right? So that would be like the main criticism.
No, he's been accused of it, but there's no actual proof.
He didn't make fun of her. He said she was his GF. If we actually look at one of the tweets, though, we can literally see that you're objectively wrong. Hey, look, Twomad GF. She's a trans girl. She's a trans girl. What the fuck is his grammar, by the way? Hey, look, Twomad GF. She's a trans girl. Just got stabbed to death by bullies. No. Like, he's clearly taking the piss. He knows that she got stabbed, and he's making fun of her. That's literally what he's doing. He's just making fun of it. So no, you're objectively wrong. It's not that he didn't know. He doesn't have that plausible deniability. If it was just the one tweet where if it was just this tweet, I would give him some plausible deniability, right? I would assume, okay, he probably got trolled into tweeting this, right? Somebody was maybe tweeted or replied to him on Twitter or something and is like, yo, this 20-year-old chick is like a big fan of you and says she wants to be your girlfriend and something like that, right? I would give him plausible deniability because that would be a plausible explanation. It's not a plausible explanation if you include this tweet. So, yeah, that second tweet is important. Yeah, anyways, let's continue.
And there's people just on Twitter just celebrating that he's dead, posting tweets, getting tens of thousands of likes, saying, "Oh, I'm so glad Twomad's dead. Fuck Twomad. He's said
Based.
all this shit. Let's celebrate his death." The person could have said the most outrageous, the most worst things, vile things, but unless they've actually committed.
So okay, if the threshold is actually committing crimes, what if Twomad hypothetically, did the same thing that you're criticizing Twitter people for doing? What if it's the case, hypothetically, let's say Twomad were to, I don't know, make fun of a trans girl who got killed in a hate crime in multiple tweets. And then as a result of that, people decide to return the favor as soon as Twomad dies and make fun of him. Do you think that that's not justified? Again, I don't think that the threshold should be whether or not they committed a crime. What?
Crimes or done something really bad and not just saying words. And I don't think anyone deserves death. And I think
okay, but what if the words he said were making fun of somebody else's death, and then people make fun of his death because of that?
Celebrating someone's death just because they've said bad things in the past is just weird. It's clear Twomad was mentally.
If you say Twomad is bad for doing what you say he did, but then do it, the same thing, you're no better.
Well, the context is that Brianna J, who died, was an innocent trans girl who didn't do anything wrong. Whereas Twomad is a fucking freak who did do bad things. One of the bad things was he made fun of her death. So clearly, Twomad thinks that it's okay to make fun of somebody's death. Now, I'm not somebody that cares that much about making fun of somebody's death. But if people are going to morally grandstand, then they should understand who they're morally grandstanding for. Because Twomad clearly doesn't think that death ought to be taken seriously because he fucking makes fun of it all the time. So, if he makes fun of dead people, he clearly thinks it's okay. So as soon as he dies, I think it's perfectly fair to make fun of him and return the favor. I don't see how there's any harm in that. Who is being harmed by Twomad getting made fun of? Twomad's friends? He doesn't really have any friends. He's a fucking loser. Nobody cares about him. Literally nobody is sad.
Ill and he had mental problems and he should have had help from that, and no one was supporting him. Everyone was always taking the piss out of him. He had no support at all in his life, and this is what happens when you don't have any support and everyone on the internet's dunking on you like he's a famous guy.
Okay, why do you think he didn't have support? Because that in a vacuum could be tragic, but why do you think that is? Is it because there was nobody that was willing to support him? Or do you think that maybe, just maybe, it's because he has no redeeming qualities? Do you think maybe it's the latter? Maybe, just maybe?
He was a famous guy. He was really popular and everyone in the world was just dunking on him. And, shit happens. It gets too much for people and then they end up, committing suicide. And me personally, I've had friends who have done shit like that and,
Okay, what if Onision committed suicide? Would you be sad? I would hope that the answer is no. Because everyone agrees. It's been proven time and time again that he's an abuser and a PDF file. Allegedly, in Minecraft, of course. No, it's been proven. But, again, it's a matter of whether or not you draw the line at a certain point.
I can only imagine what his family and friends are going through right now. And also they'll be seeing that people on Twitter...
You just said that he didn't have a support network. And now you're talking about his family and friends. Well, which one is it? Does he or does he not have people that would act as a support network? What?
On the internet are talking shit about him, also knowing he's dead. They're probably going through a lot right now, so you should just think before you say shit. Me personally, I've talked to Twomad before. I've had conversations with him. He seemed
my condolences.
Seemed pretty chill. You could tell that there was something wrong with him. He was
Yeah, even in one conversation, you can tell that there's something wrong with him.
He was a nice, chill guy when I spoke to him, and now seeing all these accusations and stuff, it's made me like rethink a lot. But there's no proof of anything, and until there is proof, then you know, if there is proof and he did do all that, then okay, I understand. But until there's actual physical proof, you can't just throw around accusations. Now he's dead and he can't defend himself.
I do agree that you shouldn't be throwing around accusations without enough evidence. That part of the argument I agree with. Are slurs allowed in chat? I mean, it's preferable if you don't, but it's in of itself, I wouldn't say that it's I wouldn't say that in of itself it's bannable. Usually if people do the really funny thing, where they do slur towers, like whether it be an N-word tower or an F-slur tower, while it is true that it's comedy gold, because it is kind of considered spamming, they might get timed out for it, just because it's like annoying. Why are you allowing such message? Okay, you're clearly a troll. No way. All right, no more spamming, okay? Or else people are gonna get timed out. This includes you, Sub Sandwich. I will literally remove your fucking blue wrench mark again if you spam. Even if it's a troll, that's a good point. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you're also a troll then. Anyways. Do better, I guess. Apparently, Moist Critical, also known as Penguin Zero, talked about this, so let's see what he has to say. Because he always has, like, the most, I guess, centrist, lukewarm position imaginable, for the most part, so I want to hear what he has to say.
Do not want to be messing with those things. I had a buddy of mine from college get hard addicted to ketamine. Dude still isn't right.
Oh my god, he might have the really controversial take of overdosing on drugs is bad. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
But though I think he's also still addicted. It's not like he stopped and never recovered. He still actively partakes. That is a brutal one.
Wow, incredible. I hope he doesn't get canceled for that. For saying that overdosing is bad. What a brave soldier.
All right, so yeah, we'll go over it. Twomad apparently passed away today from a suspected drug overdose. I'm sure if you're familiar with Twomad, you've probably seen the spiral that he's gone down over the last couple of years, drug-related. And it's been like a flood of things coming out about him post-mortem now, about like who he was behind the scenes and shit, with some really horrible.
The bastion of morality, Penguin Zero, so true. You know, he is truly the best beacon of morality. You know, he's taught me things like grape is bad and that overdosing on drugs is not good. You know, he teaches all sorts of valuable lessons like that, where it's like, oh, man, I mean, I'm so glad that he somehow hasn't gotten canceled for these really controversial takes.
Horrible
Such
things
a brave
being alleged.
warrior.
So, I can't remember if I mentioned this at the start of his spiral or not, but he worked with our agency. Like, Matt and him communicated very frequently because we get him like ads for his videos and such. And there was like this switch that flipped. And I'm guessing it's when he started taking drugs, because he started to get really... He went down a really bad path.
This sounds like a Lilith moment, which for those of you who don't know is Jalen's ex, who was a fucking psychotic freak.
And he never recovered from it. So he would say some fucked up things. And he just, I guess, kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I'd heard like things from other YouTubers about him, like in real life. And it was all really pretty horrifying stuff. But I didn't know the extent of it until like a ton of creators came out today to tell their experience with him. It's fucking awful.
Okay, if it's like a shit ton of creators then that are like all saying the same thing, then I think there's like more reason to believe that Twomad was genuinely a reprehensible, terrible person.
I don't know.
Yeah, but isn't Jalen also psychotic? Well, no, I wouldn't say that Jalen's a psychotic freak. I just think she's slightly mentally ill. Slightly is a bit of an understatement. Let's be real. But she's not like a bad person. There's a reason I'm friends with her, because she's actually a pretty cool person. She's a pretty good person, at least behind the scenes. You know. Yeah, she's done some dumb shit. She's spurged out a few times, you know, on the internet. But I don't think that I don't know. She's genuinely kind, and that's what matters to me.
Know what the drug of choice was or whatever. I've seen a lot of people saying he was addicted to ketamine or something, but yeah, it was whatever he found destroyed his mental state and created a monster, apparently. Yeah. And today he was found unresponsive.
I mean, if nothing else, the reason I don't think it's even wrong to celebrate his death is because you know, even if you're a Twomad supporter, like, you should still be happy about it, because like, he got put out of his misery, right? Like, he was clearly a miserable individual, and you know, it's like it's just like a way of pulling the plug, you know?
From a supposed drug overdose.
Rip bozo. So what is with the pauses?
That it was fent by professionals. I haven't seen the professionals say fent. I've seen some of like creators that he was close with saying it was ketamine. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Drugs are drugs, especially with the way he was handling them, are always going to end up in a situation like this.
Oh my god. Moist Critical, back at it again with the super mega hot takes. Oh my god. Guys, holy shit. I might get canceled for this, but I think I'm gonna have to agree with Moist Critical here, because I think he's right. Drugs are bad. I know! I said it. Very hot take. Oh my god. Such a brave warrior.
That is shit you just don't fuck with. That is a big don't do drugs moment, for sure. And I know a lot of people tried to help him behind the scenes, but clearly it didn't get through. He needed like professional help, and I suppose never got it.
I don't know what professional help he could have gotten that would have...
You see Jameskii's tweet? Yep.
That would have fixed the issue.
I did. And I saw a bunch of others come out with similar accounts of that kind of horrible stuff. Thanks to Tier 1 Kit and the membership, Kalari.
Accounts receivable.
It was a lot.
That was really fucking autistic, holy shit. What is this shit? Why is he just sitting there? I feel like I'm watching a Chud Logic stream. Talk!
It was more likely ketamine laced with fent, since there are DMs where he admits to the ketamine problem. That's what I was referring to, where I saw a lot of people mention that.
It's a stream, yeah, but I don't have this much dead air. Whenever I read chat, I read it out loud, and it doesn't take me 20 seconds. Right? It felt like I was watching a fucking Chud Logic stream for a moment there. Like, okay, if you pause for like, whatever, 5 seconds every once in a while, or whatever, like you have slight or you pause to drink water, whatever the fuck, I think that's fine. But you shouldn't constantly have dead air, especially not for like 15 seconds. Come on, 15 seconds is a bit much. You just have ADHD? Yeah, but shut up. Maybe I do, but that's irrelevant. That's not the point. Okay? If I can have less dead air in my streams, then I think that it is perfectly reasonable to expect somebody with anywhere from 100,000 to multiple millions of subscribe. I'm very good at talking, but at least I'm talking. You stream for like 3 hours? Oh my god, you have not seen my longer... Go watch the 8-hour stream about Vosh. You'll notice that while it is the case that I don't talk nearly as much, I do still talk a lot, and I don't have a shit ton of dead air, because that would be boring. Because I actually care about the entertainment value, right? I care about entertaining my audience. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, it'd be easier to just not talk and just sit there and collect watch time as people wait for you to talk, but I'm not about that.
Regardless, though, that is Terrible stuff.
See? He pauses again for 15 seconds.
You do not want to be messing with those things. I had a buddy of mine from college get hard addicted to ketamine. Dude still isn't right. But though I think he's also still addicted. It's not like he stopped and never recovered. He still actively partakes. That is a brutal one.
Another pause.
There's the resub Supa. Why would you all sponsor a pedo loser like him? Also, Ket is for girls. Well, there's a lot to unpack about that.
Oh, damn.
It'd been a while since we worked with him because of the spiral he went down and the shit that came out. It's not like we were actively still working with him through all of that. He used to say a lot of terrible shit to, like, Matt. It was a spiral that started pretty much out of nowhere. So most likely drug-related, and it completely destroyed him as a human being.
Damn, that's so sad.
Is it tier
R.I.P.
one, Dennis?
Bozo. Yeah, no, this is boring. I can't watch the rest of this. I can't... We got a little bit more than halfway. I think that's good enough. I'm sorry, but, like, maybe I just have, like, high standards because, like, I watch my own streams to make sure that they're good and entertaining and whatnot so that I can improve over time. And, like, I make sure that my streams are, like, fun and engaging, right? Like, I don't want them to be boring. I don't want to just, like, sit there and be like, you're mean, dude. Yeah, that's kind of a good point. Talking for 8 hours about Vosh is an autistic moment, though. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I do have autism. That was a fun stream, though. Yeah, I think it was a fun stream. I had some fun. You know, we talked about some stuff. Not everyone has to be... Okay, sorry. Bit is over. Not everyone has to be XQC. Are you seriously using XQC as the good example of a streamer? No, he also suck. He fucking sucks ass. All he does is he sits there and plays somebody else's video, and his entire reaction consists of, "Oh my god, chat! Did you guys see the thing on screen in front of you? That is crazy! Oh my god, guys! That's crazy! Holy shit, no way!" It's like SS Sniper Wolf level reactions. It's fucking dog shit. It's horrible content. He adds nothing of value. He's just annoying as shit, right? So no, XQC would also be a terrible example. XQC is literally the face of having energy 24/7. Yeah, but for all the wrong reasons. For all the wrong reasons. XQC is a fucking terrible streamer for other reasons. Like the one I just mentioned. The fact that he just steals content. Your Penguin Zero impression took me out. I mean, am I wrong, though? Like, you can be fun and engaging without screaming at the top of your lungs and also adding value to either whatever you're watching or adding value in general. XQC doesn't say anything of value. He doesn't have an actual mode of analysis that's interesting to listen to or to watch. He just says words. He just says, "Oh my god, did you see the thing on screen that's right in front of you?" And that's the extent of his analysis. I don't know, maybe it's just because he's stupid, and I don't find stupid people very entertaining unless I'm, like, laughing at them. But yeah, I just don't see the entertainment value. He's literally the goat. You're trolling. Anyways. It's mind-boggling. You watch Vosh? Yeah, well, guess what? Well, first of all, I do think that that's, like... You know what? I should probably do... I'm going to end this stream soon and start another stream, because I also want to talk about some more Vosh stuff. Indeed. I know. I know you all wanted to hear me talk more about Vosh, so at some point I will be doing that today. I'm doing like a double stream, I guess. Vosh is literally the most Okay. Whether or not you're monotone is not what determines whether or not you're entertaining, right? Vosh is a bit on the monotone side, but he has like a dry sense of humor where he says things sarcastically, right? So it could be the case that, yeah, he's monotone sometimes, but he says things of value. That's the difference. He says things of value, and I actually agree that whenever he does the thing where he reads chat, he does pause too long, right? He'll read chat, he'll sort of look through it, and then he'll just read it in his head, and then he'll look through chat and then finally find one that he wants to read. He does this too slowly, in my opinion, right? Like, I can agree with that, right? Like, if the goal is to be as entertaining as possible, okay, maybe he's not there yet, right? But he's good enough to the point where I can say, yes, he is good at streaming. Same thing with Destiny. I would argue that Destiny is pretty good at streaming for the main reason being, A, he's entertaining, and B, and this is the most important part, he says things of value. Even if he has wrong beliefs and says things that are wrong sometimes, he still adds something. He still has something that's at least interesting, that's worth thinking about. Even when he's wrong about stuff. Even when he basically just says a Zionist talking points, right? Like, it's still worth thinking about whatever he's saying. It's still interesting to listen to. XQC is not interesting to listen to. Anyone that does the thing where they wait for 15 seconds between saying words. Again, Chud Logic will sit there for 15 seconds in a row, and then he'll say one sentence, and then he'll pause for another 15 seconds. It's ridiculous. I don't know how anyone watches it. It's so fucking bad. It's embarrassing how low people's standards are. It's a joke. And again, if somebody that averages anywhere from 10 to 30 concurrent viewers on my 1,500 subscriber channel can be more entertaining, that doesn't mean that I am doing something right. It means that other people are doing something wrong. It means that clearly the standards are way too fucking low. And it feels like if somebody's a large streamer, it's like it doesn't even matter. Most bad faith interpretation of XQC I've ever heard, it's not. He literally adds nothing of value. Bro deluded AF. Apparently, guys, it's delusional to state objectively correct facts. Okay, today I learned something new. But yeah, no. Like, okay, I think it's fine to pause sometimes, right? Like, you have to drink water. You have to take a deep breath every now and again, right? But again, at least whenever I pause, I try to keep it to a minimum. I try to always say something of value. I try to be high energy enough without being obnoxious about it, right? Which I think is what people should go for, right? Rather than just sitting there as, hey guys, today we're going to be reacting to the video. Oh my god, this Twomad stuff is crazy. Don't overdose on drugs. Did you see that? It was like, apparently there's one time where there was like a friend that did that, and that ruined their life. Some nasty stuff, man. Doing drugs is bad. Don't do drugs. It's not good. I'm sorry, but like if that was my entire fucking stream, I would just end it right there. I'm not even joking. I'm sorry. No hate to Moist Critical, by the way. I know I'm being harsh, right? He seems like a cool guy. He's just fucking bad at streaming, okay? I'm sorry. Proportional to his sub count, terrible at streaming. Does not know how to not pause. I would say the same thing about Keffels, by the way. She does the same retarded shit where she will just pause and stare into the fucking void for 20 seconds in a row before she says a sentence, which is absurd. And not only does she do this in live streams, she uploads video segments of her live streams where she doesn't even cut it out. She just leaves it in there, which is insane. I can't fathom leaving that in there. Some people care about the YouTuber. You treat content as an information machine. No, you're wrong. It's not that it's not about it being an information machine, right? It could be the case that somebody is constantly talking, but they're boring, right? And they just say words in a monotone voice and talk about shit I don't care about and random information I don't care about, right? There's a reason I talk the way I do, right? I'm not somebody that's just gonna constantly sit here in like, there are gonna be times where I talk in a more monotone voice if I'm more focused on the analysis aspect, right? But you don't see me just focusing on the information, right? Like, I've got a little bit of a personality going on, right? That's not to say that, it's like the greatest YouTuber personality of all time. I mean, aside from the fact that it is, obviously. But aside from that, I'm just saying. No, but in all seriousness, no, I genuinely try to be entertaining. It's about the entertainment. It's about not having 25 seconds of me just staring blankly into the void. It's about adding something of value. Again, I just, look, maybe, again, you say it's ADHD brain, and you know what? Maybe you're right. But you know what? Maybe ADHD brain is more correct when it comes to analyzing YouTube content, okay? I think that my analysis here of what does and doesn't constitute a good stream is objectively more correct. His entertainment is being himself and people like that. Okay, yes, I agree that is a good component. He does have a good personality. I agree with that. Unfortunately, I can still criticize the content if it's bad, objectively, right? Yeah. In fact, I would argue that his personality, if anything, carries him. His editing is dog shit, right? He doesn't even know how to do a title or a thumbnail, but people like him, which is genuinely impressive to have a personality like that, right? But I'm not arguing that he doesn't have the right personality for YouTuber streaming. He does have the right personality. He has the perfect personality for it. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean he's perfect at making content that's entertaining, right? Again, a lot of my content is also personality oriented, right? That's important. However, I also try to keep it entertaining. Do you know what objective means? Yeah, okay. When I talk about objective, I'm talking about using some sort of obvious, I guess, intersubjectively agreed upon framework that isn't really even up for dispute, right? Like, so for instance, I guess if we're talking about long pauses between sentences, and I don't mean a long pause like what I just did there, right? Like, sometimes you're gonna need to breathe in air or whatever, right? I'm talking like 20-second pauses, not to think, not to look something up, but before, like, just between sentences. That doesn't need to exist. It doesn't take them that long to come up with a sentence. It shouldn't, right? Shit like that. I think it's fair to say that that is objectively worse than not doing that in terms of the quality of the content, right? Because I think we would all agree that it is less entertaining to watch somebody stare blankly into the fucking void the way that Chud Logic and Keffels do than to actually listen to them say words. I don't know. It's not objective, it works. I mean, I guess the main objective metrics that I would go for is, again, like, what does good content consist of, right? Like, to say that in an objective sense, there is literally no difference between a Fortnite gameplay video that is just raw footage with literally no commentary or audio uploaded in 360p, and that's the same quality as like a fucking video essay masterpiece on the ContraPoints YouTube channel. Yeah, no, those are objectively the same because it's all subjective. No, that's fucking stupid. Like, that, you would be insane if you were to say that that's merely subjective. It's like, no, there are things you can point to that are objective, right? Like, for instance, it is an objective fact that, say, for instance, 1080p is objectively a higher quality than 360p. Now, how important is that? It's not the most important part of the content, but it is a factor, right? Again, there are multiple factors to it, and every factor that increases or decreases the quality, right? Like, unless you want to assert that actually I disagree with like whatever aspect I deem to be more, I guess, objective. Like, you'd have to come up with a good explanation for why. Because again, I would argue that if I'm going to be completely real, aside from XQC not adding anything of substance, which is true, right? Like, what does he say that's of substance, right? Whether or not he's objectively entertaining, I guess if I said that XQC is objectively not entertaining, I guess I might walk that specific proposition back, right? Because there are some people that find his personality entertaining. I think that generally it's more low IQ, worthless content that doesn't really do anything, but it is technically content, right? But if there's nothing there, not just in terms of substance, but you're like, as in you're just staring at the screen, right? Like, I feel like that's a bit different. If people are watching them, and then it fucking... Okay, you're not understanding the point I'm making. You can critique somebody's stream for things that could be better while still agreeing that overall people still enjoy their content because of their personality. But you can have a good person... Like, I don't see how doing things to objectively make the stream better, whether it be increasing the production quality or whether it be the audio being improved. There are some people where it's like they can't even fucking balance the audio, which, you know, I've made mistakes with that before, right? But if you stream frequently, it's like, okay, you should fix that. Just, there are so many things you could, not having so much dead air, there are so many things you can do to make a stream better that don't deduct points away from your personality, right? Because all the people that would be watching would have an even better experience, because not only do they get Charlie's good personality, but they also get good content as well. With his good personality, they get to hear him talk more. And you know what? If you like listening to Charlie talk because you like his personality, him talking more would be a good thing, right? That doesn't mean that his streams are unwatchable if you're there for his personality, right? But there are still critiques you can make. I don't see how is this narcissist shit? How is it narcissist shit? Like, how is it narcissistic to point at something like, I don't know, 20 seconds of fucking dead air that exist for no reason, and saying, yeah, it would be preferable if the 20 seconds of dead air wasn't there, and if instead of 20 seconds of dead air, that time was filled with the person talking and saying words and being entertaining. I don't know how that's narcissistic. I like, what? I'm sorry. Okay. Do you believe, okay? I want you to be honest. What do you believe that 20 seconds of dead air, just somebody silently staring into the fucking void, not for a comedic bit, but just because they're just not talking, right? They're just not saying words. Do you think that is more entertaining, less entertaining, or the same amount of entertaining as 20 seconds of somebody actually saying words and being entertaining? You are talking better than all of the top streamers. I'm not saying I'm better than all of the top streamers. There are things that I do better than some top streamers, sure, but there are also things that I'm sure I'm doing worse. Again, I'm not saying that hell, a perfect example of this would be optics, okay? I have a very bad track record when it comes to having good optics and not saying things that make me look bad, right? Very bad track record when it comes to that. However, with that being said, regardless of my bad track record when it comes to optics, it's still going to be the case that I'm better than other people when it comes to not having 20 seconds of dead air. Just for no fucking reason. 20 seconds is wild. Not just 20 seconds, but multiple times. Okay, it would be one thing if it was 20 seconds of dead air once or twice, and whatever. But even every 3 minutes, that would be too much in my opinion. And if I were to watch one of my past live streams and see, oh, hey, look, here's like a 20-second segment where it's dead air. How could I prevent this? I go out of my way to prevent it from happening in the future. There are going to be instances where, whatever, I'm either looking something up or whatever, and maybe I'm not talking as much. Or you could name a whole list of things that could be entirely possible. But I try to improve and better myself. I don't see how it's delusional to want to improve the quality of streams. That's not narcissistic. That's just trying to optimize the quality of your streams, content-wise, entertainment-wise, etc. So I think that stuff, at least to me, matters, right? As a content creator. It might not matter to you because you're not a content creator, but it does matter to you as an audience member. Even if you don't intuitively realize it, right? Because if I just sit here for 20 seconds and I'm not giving you anything, you clicked on this stream to give me your time. And if I'm not saying anything, what's the point, right? I don't want to waste people's time unless I'm saying something, right? Unless I have at least something to say. Even if it's something like this that you disagree with, it's something, right? Something is better than nothing, right? I don't know. Maybe you disagree. See, that pause right there was me drinking water, so that doesn't count. Okay? Sometimes nothing is better. In a few rare instances, like for instance, when I was doing like a comedic bit where I intentionally had really long chunks of silence, but that's because that's in the context of me making fun of it, right? So it's funny. There's comedic value there, right? If that was something that I actually did, then there wouldn't be value. Either way, so funny, dude. I don't know. I thought it was a good bit. But, one thing that is subjective would be comedy. So, yeah, anyways. Let's see here. I think that's all I wanted to cover for today's stream. I thought it was gonna be less than an hour, but I love how there are people like falsely accusing. There's people just saying pedophilia in chat. Where? Oh no, they disappeared. Where'd they go? What happened? What? Where did they go? Fuck, they disappeared. Anyways, where the fuck was I? Right, speaking of false allegations. See, this is what I mean. Like, I feel like I've been very consistent in a lot of ways. One of them is being against false allegations. Even with like the Twomad stuff, I have stated in this stream, I think Twomad definitely was a fucking freak for sure, but I don't think there's conclusive evidence. But being consistent isn't always correct, though. Oh, I agree that in of itself it's not correct. You could be consistently wrong about something, right? However, I also believe that consistency, right, unless you're consistently wrong, is generally a good thing, right? Like if you're consistently correct about something, which I am consistently correct about a lot of things, such as being against things like spreading false allegations, even if it's against somebody I dislike, like Twomad, for instance, whatever, you name it, that's like a good kind of consistency. That's debatable. So you think it is preferable to spread false allegations with no evidence? You think that that's a moral good, and that's debatable, actually. opinions on the Pope. I don't know. I guess he's an all right guy, I guess. I don't know much about him. I guess he exists indeed. You spread false allegations and dox children. What false allegations did I spread first of all? Find me any example. Oh wait, you can't. Dox children. There was one instance where I leaked somebody's face one time and apologized for it. I don't think that's like the same thing. This was like months ago too. It's like people are still bringing that up. This was fucking ages ago. What did Twomad do? So long story short, he died. And some people are making fun of him. Some people are morally grandstanding, being like, how dare you make fun of the dead? When Twomad himself thought it was fine to make fun of the dead. Like, he literally did that with Brianna J. when she was a trans girl who was hate crimed. Twomad made fun of that. But now people that were Twomad fans, basically, are morally grandstanding and being like, how dare people on Twitter make fun of this person who died, who also made fun of a person that died. It's like, okay. Cool, I guess. Great. Wonderful. Glad to see that Twomad fans are really good at thinking about stuff. What false allegations did I spread about Twomad? Name a single false allegation. Nah, you're trolling. You're trolling. Name one thing I falsely accused of him of. Okay. CTSG, you have 20 seconds to name one thing I falsely accused him of, and if you can't, I'm permanently banning you from chat. You have 20 seconds. Maybe since you like dead air so much, maybe it should be 20 seconds of dead air, since apparently that's objectively the same as a stream that doesn't have 20 seconds of dead air. Do you want to be tickled by Bald Martin? You better believe I do. You said Twomad is a pedo? Nope, you're wrong. You have 20 more seconds to retract that and admit that you're objectively wrong. Because I never said that Twomad is a pedo. I said that he was allegedly, but that we can't come to any conclusions. And that it's not proven. So again, wait, hold on. Look at the thumbnail. You laugh at his death. Is laughing at somebody's death a false allegation? Again, you have a little bit more time. Giving you a little bit more time just in case there's a little bit of stream delay. You are disgusting. Yep, all right. You're not going to retract your objectively wrong statement. You have said nothing of value. Bye-bye. Oh no, chat, he disappeared. Where'd he go? Twomad ain't dead, he's trolling. Yeah, this is true. He's actually in Cuba with Michael Jackson right now. That's where they're hiding. Anyways, are allegations are proven? The PDF file allegations and the grape allegations are not proven. They're just allegations. I've said that like 5 trillion times. You used objectively the right way, though? I did. I used the objectively correct definition. Well, I mean, we could get into a semantic debate over whether or not definitions are objectively correct. I guess if you, assuming that a word has a certain definition, that, like, unless there's, like, a disagreement upon it, like, there are things that objectively do or don't fit definitions, right? Like, so for instance, it is objectively the case that this is green. Now, the word green itself, right? We decided to use that specific syllable, I guess, to describe this color, right? But if we assume that green, you get the point that I'm making, right? You get the point, right? Assuming that green has the definition that we've given it, which we agree upon, then objectively speaking, this is green. You would be objectively wrong to say that this is red. It's not red. If you were to say, well, it's green in my subjective opinion, but it's entirely plausible that this is red, you would also sound like a fucking insane person, just slightly less insane. That being said, I think that this is going to conclude today's stream for this specific topic. I'm also going to be talking about Vosh stuff. So, if you want to hear me talk about the Vosh stuff, stick around for, I guess, wait for that stream to start. Stick around. Be aware of the fact that I'm going to be doing that as a stream as well. Because, oh my god, it is the YouTube algorithm's favorite fucking topic for this channel. So, what can I say? Spamming instantly gets you, banned/muted, by the way. You are a Vosh defender? Did you not see the stream where I kind of conceded my position? Like, I mean, I did start out by defending Vosh, but kind of. If you watch my most recent stream in its entirety, you're probably not going to come to that conclusion even. I am now of the opinion, all right, that both Vosh and Ethan doofed it up, okay? They doofed it up, okay? They both done goofed. All right? And they're both big stinky poopy heads, okay? That's my position now, okay? I don't think that's like a defense of Vosh, you know? Equally though, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not really a competition of who's worse. I mean, they're bad for different reasons, right? They fucked up in different ways. Ethan may have done something a little bit dumb. I would argue that Ethan appears to be more on the dishonest side / dumb side. That doesn't mean that Vosh is therefore correct because his critic Ethan is incorrect, right? Like two opposing forces can be incorrect at the same time, right? And can do wrong things. So I believe that that's what happened. Vosh jerked Delali. That is technically true. I think it's reasonable to assume that if he saved it on his PC, he probably either jerked it or intended on jerking it, right? Whether or not he knew it was lolly, I'm still not comfortable saying he did. I'm still not comfortable fully labeling him as a PDF file, but it would be I will say it is a reasonable conclusion to come to if you say that he is, or conclude that he is, right? Now, I do think that he definitively is a zoo file. That's not even, like, up for debate. Twomad admitted to committing SA before he died. Oh, did he actually? I'll have to see evidence of that. He had his degen folder labeled and sorted. Yeah, he had it labeled and sorted with his taxes. It was quite funny. But also kind of sad. Like, that's the thing, is like, I feel bad for Vosh, but that doesn't mean he's innocent, right? You can empathize with somebody that did something wrong. And, yeah, I don't know. Like, I would say that, okay, here's my conclusion, okay? I empathize with Vosh more than I empathize with Ethan Klein, but I also believe that Vosh did more wrong than Ethan Klein. So, take that for what you will. That's my take on it. And ultimately, whether or not I empathize with someone is going to be more emotional rather than analytical. So, yeah, I don't know. But how did he die? He overdosed while playing Overwatch. I'm not even kidding. People were making memes about the fact that Overwatch was still open while he died, which is kind of funny. Like, even if you are against making fun of Twomad after he died, like, you have to admit it's pretty funny that Overwatch was fucking open. That he overdosed while playing Overwatch. You have to admit that's pretty funny. What a king. it's not even like a W or an L. It's just funny. Dude was tweaking, yeah. Anyways, that's going to conclude today's stream for this specific stream. I'm also going to stream again today in however long, within the next 30 minutes at least. That would be like probably like the most amount of time is 30 minutes. And yeah. That being said, if you enjoyed, make sure to let me know by smashing a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Subscribe with notifications on if you want to see my next stream, because we are going live very soon, again, on the same day. But how would you know that if you weren't subscribed with notifications on? I'm just saying. So if you want to catch my next stream or whatever the hell, or see more content, subscribe with notifications on. I will be there. Hell yeah. Let's go. W. Massive W. Anyways, I will see you all in the next one. Unless I die in a tragic house fire. But yeah, that's unlikely. I think. Unless I commit arson, of course. But I don't intend on doing that, so